So, I realized this morning that, again, I forgot that I had a podcast. I know. But I'm not giving up on myself just yet. I have a good reason, actually, for forgetting about my podcast. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been, like, in the whole Ramadan vibe, just trying to keep my mind focused on Ramadan and getting ready for Ramadan. And I mean, when I'm not doing that, I've got like a script deadline to meet. So yeah, I know, excuses. I should be better organized. I keep talking about productivity and all that stuff, but here I am. Hey, it's a struggle. But we keep going. I actually started this recording not knowing exactly what I was going to talk about, not properly thinking it through. But I do know that I want to talk about focus. I've been thinking recently about how it seems to me that it's easier, or I seem to function better if I have just one thing I focus on. So on my daily schedule, I have like different days for working on different projects, right? And that doesn't work very well for me right now, because I noticed that every time I have like a project that has a close deadline, or I take on a gig where the client has a deadline that I have to deliver on, every other thing, like everything else, just falls away and I just focus on that one thing. And usually those timelines are such that if I don't do that, if I don't focus on that one thing, I will not be able to complete those projects. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out if I bring that system into my own personal projects, because I have quite a few projects that are, oh goodness, that I don't like to use the word postpone, but let's call it what it is. I've been postponing for years. Some even as long as 8 years. I know, it's ridiculous. Like, the day I finally clear all these things off my table, I would be so happy. May Allah grant me a long, healthy life, so that inshallah I can complete all of these projects. But yeah, so I haven't figured it out yet, but most likely as I figure it out, I'll let you know. Yeah, keep you informed, updated. And of course, if you have any advice for me or anything, just reach out to me. Right now, I have shut down my IG, but I'm very much still active via email. Yeah, I may not respond to your email immediately, but please send me an email at koraydayaziz@gmail.com. That is KORYDAYAZZ@gmail.com. And it might be a lot to ask to send to send an email, but yeah, I would really appreciate it. I really appreciate my little tribe. Thank you so much for listening. I mean, I still get I think on average I have about 28 listens per episode, some more than others, but every time I think about, oh my goodness, 28 whole people are listening to my voice right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this Ramadan. I mean, with every Ramadan, of course, you want to gain as much reward as possible, in the hopes that all of your past sins are forgiven. And yes, inshallah, this Ramadan is the same. Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it. This is probably going to be the shortest episode in a while, but I'm not going to, elongate it too much. But I should say, actually, that for the next couple of weeks, I am not going to be posting any podcasts. So for, let's say, at least 4 weeks, maybe about 4 to 8 weeks. I don't know exactly right now. Sorry, guys. I wish I were more organized, but I'm working on it. Inshallah, we'll get there. But yeah, 4 to 8 weeks, I'll be off the podcast, and inshallah, you would not have forgotten about me by the time I come back. In the meantime, what you could do for me is please leave a comment, especially if you're listening via Apple Podcasts. Just leave a review, rather. Leave a review so that hopefully maybe someone else might find the podcast and maybe they will benefit from it. And yeah, thank you so much again for listening. And if you're fasting this Ramadan, yeah, happy fasting, Ramadan Mubarak. And even if you're not fasting, for whatever reason, Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much. Bye.